Do you know the 10 most important legal terms every law student should know? Let's dive into them now. First up is habeas corpus. This is a legal order that requires a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or into court. It's used to ensure the person's release unless there are lawful grounds for their detention. Next, we have jurisdiction. This refers to the authority of a court to hear and decide a case. It can be based on geographic location, subject matter, or the parties involved. Moving on to precedent. This is a legal principle or rule established in a previous case that is binding or persuasive for future cases. It helps ensure consistency and predictability in the law. Now let's talk about due process. This is the fair treatment and protection of an individual's rights during legal proceedings. It guarantees that a person cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without proper legal procedures. Another important term is burden of proof. This refers to the obligation of a party to prove their case in court. In criminal cases, the burden of proof is usually on the prosecution to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Moving on to statute of limitations. This is a law that sets the maximum time period within which legal proceedings can be initiated. It varies depending on the type of offense or civil claim. Next, we have stare decisis. This is the principle that courts should adhere to precedent and make decisions based on previous rulings. It helps maintain stability and consistency in the legal system. Now let's discuss mens rea. This is a Latin term that refers to the mental state or intention of a person when committing a crime. It is an important element in determining criminal liability. Another important term is res ipsa loquitur. This is a Latin phrase that means the thing speaks for itself. It is used in cases where the negligence or wrongdoing is so obvious that no further explanation is needed. Finally, we have pro bono. This is a Latin term that means for the public good. It refers to legal services provided by lawyers for free or at a reduced fee to individuals or organizations in need. And those are the 10 most important legal terms every law student should know. Make sure to familiarize yourself with them as you continue your legal studies. Next is precedent. This is a legal decision or judgment that serves as an authoritative example for resolving similar legal issues in the future. It's often cited to support arguments in court. The third term is due process. This is the fair treatment and protection of an individual's legal rights, especially during government action. It guarantees that legal proceedings are fair and follow established rules and procedures. Fourth on our list is jurisdiction. This refers to the authority of a court to hear and decide a case. It can refer to geographic boundaries, subject matter, or the authority over certain types of legal issues. Fifth is stare decisis. This is the principle of following precedent. It means that once a legal issue is settled, future cases should be decided in a similar manner. Next, we have tort. A tort is a civil wrong that causes harm or loss, leading to legal liability. Torts can include negligence, intentional acts, and strict liability. Seventh is pro bono. This refers to legal services provided by professionals without charge, typically for the public good or for those who cannot afford legal representation. Eighth is affidavit. This is a written statement of facts that is sworn or affirmed to be true. Affidavits are often used as evidence in court proceedings. Ninth is de novo. This Latin term means anew or from the beginning. It's used to describe a review or hearing that starts fresh, without deference to a prior decision. And lastly, we have injunction. This is a court order that requires a person to do or refrain from doing a specific act. Injunctions are often sought to prevent harm or maintain the status quo during legal proceedings. Understanding these terms is foundational to studying and practicing law. They form the bedrock of legal education and will be encountered in various legal contexts as law students progress in their studies. Remember, these terms are not just vocabulary, they're tools to help navigate the complex world of law and justice.